The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 5th day of January. I don't know why I was thinking November. It's January 5th, 2026, and it's opening day. For the next 8 months or so, we go back to 1986 and play that season. Be careful with the poll question today. It is not who wins because we're doing a doubleheader. So we do a doubleheader. Because, Ron really took his time to do it this opening, right? First, we go to the first game of the year, which was not in Cincinnati. It was in Detroit, between the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Bruce Hurst, Jack Morris. No, Roger Clemens was not the opening day starter for the Red Sox in 1986. Can you guess what year he got his first opening day start? That's a trick question. The reason why I chose this, because this was the season that began with a home run. Dwight Evans, first batter, first pitch, or first game, first batter, plopped one. And when I show you the odds in a second, he's got a 7.9% chance of doing it again today. That's the opener, and then the nightcap will be the Padres and the Dodgers from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. How you doing, John? John's kind of, happy opening day. Big Dave, how are you? Barb, morning baseball, yep. So 2 for the price of 1 today, and tomorrow we start a split day doubleheader. Or doubleheader that will take 2 days to do, as we play the games of Tuesday, whatever day this is, in 1986. And then next week, we'll start with our Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, with our 3 streaming days. So this week, it's opening day week. You get 4 games between now and Wednesday afternoon. All right, Red Sox and Tigers from Detroit. Next! As Retro Sports Network presents Opening Day 1986 today, starting from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan. It is the Detroit Tigers versus the Boston Red Sox. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find Dave, Vinny, and Joe Cards today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So Jack Morris takes his warm-up tosses. It is 58 degrees, clear skies here in Detroit. Remember, we don't do rain outs, but we do rain delays. And the wind is blowing in from left center at 12. Morris made 35 starts in 86. He went 21-8. This might have actually been his best year. A 3.27 ERA, he went 267 innings, allowed 229 hits, 105 runs, 97 hurt, but he gave up 40 home runs, 82 walks, and 223 strikeouts on his dance card. And here is, good morning there, Triple G, or Greg. Here's the lineup for you for the Red Sox. Dwight Evans, who hit his first of 26 home runs in real life in this game, leads off because Evans was a speedster, apparently. Thanks, John McNamara. In right field, Wade Boggs will bat second and play third. Billy Buckner at first will go third. Jim Rice, in one of his most unappreciated years, will clean up in left field. Don Baylor, new to the Red Sox. Mike Easler to the Yankees. Don Baylor to the Red Sox. He's the DH. He'll bat fifth. Rich Gedman behind the plate will go 6th. Tony Armas in center will go 7th. Marty Barrett at second will bat 8th. He'll move up to second in the lineup at some point over the course of the year. And Glenn Hoffman, one of the 9,000 shortstops the Red Sox had in 86, will play short and bat 9th. Morris can give you 120 pitches. Defensively for the Tigers, Darnell Cole's a 4 at third. Alan Trammell, an 8 and a 10 at short. Lou Whitaker, a 9 and a 10 at second. Darrell Evans, a 6 at first. Larry Herndon, a 7 and a 5 in left. Chet Lemon, an 8 and a 4 in center. Kirk Gibson, a 6 and a 9 in right. Lance Parrish, a 9 and an 8 behind the plate. And Morris is an 8 on the mound. with a .964 fielding percentage. You used to go to the Reds opening day parade, Mr. Steve said. You actually got to March. Really? That's cool that you got to March. Reds used to be the first game every year before ESPN changed. I miss that, actually. And the poll question is getting field. So, who wins the World Series? The Mets or any of the other 25 teams? Evans at 259, 26 homers and 97 RBI. Good afternoon, Tribe fan. So here we go. 1986 starts with a fly ball to left. No way. Nope, that will stay in the yard. Herndon's there, one out. So it does not begin with a home run. If people ask, why don't you do game X or game Y? Because the chances of likelihood of what you wanted to have happen aren't going to happen. And that being one of them. Wade Boggs at 357, 8 homers and 71 RBI. Red Sox 95 and 66 in real life. Tigers 87 and 75. They would win the East in 87. And certainly, I think, will play a large role in who wins this in 86. Boggs up the middle. That's a base hit over Whitaker. And the Red Sox had the first hit of the replay. And Boggs not a threat to steal. They can hit and run. Interesting. Buckner at 267, 18 homers, and they don't go to the real-life World Series without his 102 RBI. Buckner also stole 6 bases, which for the if you do the conversion rate for the Red Sox, that's about 90. That's cool. So, Steve, how did you get to march in the parade? We'll hit and run here. I'll take that up. Runner goes, ground ball to third. Coles has to wait for it. Boggs will take second. Buckner should be out on the bang-banger. No, he beat it out. He beat it out. An infield hit, and Morris is already behind the 8 ball. Here's Jim Ed. Andy, how are you? Good morning. You were 21. I was 14. Rice, again, this may be his most underappreciated season ever. He wasn't the power threat that he was in the late 70s, but he did hit 324, 200 hits, 20 homers, and drove in 110. Mr. Unger, 86, a very good year. Mets win. I won't throw you out for that. Historic Giants season with a Super Bowl win at the end of it all, and you turned 21 and was in love for the first time. My grandfather died the weekend before that Super Bowl. Died the Friday before that Super Bowl. And so I watched that Super Bowl, but his wake was at the same time. Talk about mixed emotions. And I rooted for Elway. Pitch to Rice. Walked him. I see Morris is pitching to the scoreboard already. So bases loaded for the newbie, Don Baylor, at 238, 31 homers and 94 RBI. So Boggs on third, Buckner on second, Rice on first. We'll have the Mets on next week, I think. Trying to get all the 85 playoff teams in pretty quick. Pitch to Baylor. Struck him out, and there's 2 out. Morris gone with Chase, 1-2 off speed. And here's Gedman at 258, 16 homers and 65 RBI. Oh, your dad died before the 2012 Giants. Oh, that's tough. I'm waiting for my dad's Bills to win a Super Bowl. I thought of him a lot yesterday. The last game at the old stadium. The new one is going to have natural grass, by the way. That should be cool. Pitch to Gedman. Bases loaded. That's popped up. And the Red Sox are going to leave him loaded as Chet Lemon will come in to make the catch, and that will do. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 1 here in Detroit, Boston, nothing. Here come the Tigers. Oh, you worked at Kroger's, and you were the union steward, and I was the union steward. Cincy's bus system painted a bus for United Food and Commercial, and we got to march alongside with the bus. That's cool. 85 won the new strat seasons along with 52. It's the first time ever they've done, well, I'm glad they did 3 seasons, but I already owned 52 and 85 for the computer. I'll probably buy 85 again. I was 13. Bruce Hurst. I was surprised, if you did watch the video I did last night, I talked a little bit about this, Mr. Unger. But for those that didn't know, Bruce did not get all 33 starts in. He only started 25 games. He went 13-8. Had an earned run average of 2.99, and if they'd hung on in the 10th inning, he would have been the World Series MVP. 174 and a third for Bruce, 169 hits, 63 runs, 58 earned, just 18 home runs allowed. He walked 50 and struck out 167. And did not pitch a fit. Well, he went to the All-Star game anyway, I think, right? Here's how the Tigers line up. Dave Collins leads off as the DH for Sparky Anderson. Lou Whitaker at second, who should be in the Hall of Fame, will bat second. Kirk Gibson at right will go third. Lance Parrish cleans up behind the plate. Chet Lemon in center will bat fifth. Alan Trammell at short will go sixth. Larry Herndon in left will bat seventh. Darrell Evans, who will be the hero next year, at first will go eighth, and Darnell Coles at third batting ninth. Hurst can give you 120 pitches. Defensively for the Red Sox, Jim Rice is 7 and a 5 in left. Tony Armas a 5 and a 7 in center. Armas kind of fell off a cliff power-wise in '86, which is why they'll make some trades later on. And Dwight Evans is a 9 and a 10 in right. Wade Boggs a 6 at third. Glenn Hoffman a 3 and a 3 at short. Marty Barrett a 5 and a 7 at second. And Bill Buckner is a 7 at first. Rich Gedman a 7 and a 10 behind the plate. And Hurst a 7 on the mound with a .926 fielding percentage. Enzo the Picker. Am I doing 1L and 1L game daily, or and sending the rest? Also, the games you play are... No, there's no micromanager. There's whatever the team's managerial stuff is put in there. There's some of that put in. So no, Enzo, what I do... I meant... You know what? Because I'm an idiot. I meant to talk about that in the video, the random video I did last night, because Curtis Milbourne asked. So this week, we do 2 from opening day, which was April 7th, the Monday. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll do a split day doubleheader, which means I do 1 game for that and then the other. It depends on how the pennant races actually shake out. I try to be even, but generally it's 3 games a week, and you can't always be even. And then everything else is quick simmed, and the lineups are as played. Hopefully that... I meant to talk about that, but I was yapping for a half hour, and no one wants to watch me for more than a half hour yap without doing something. Dave Collins at 270, a homer, and 27 RBI. Struck him out, and that's how Bruce Hurst starts his year, on a 3-pitch strikeout. Got him on an off-speed. Looking, here's Lou Whitaker, 269, 20 homers, and 73 RBI. That is up the middle. Hurst over to Buckner, 2 out. For Gibby, Kirk Gibson at 268, 28 homers, and 86 RBI. He stole 34 bases out of the 3-hole. That's amazing. Fly ball, right field. Back goes Evans, and that is on the roof, for goodness sakes. So Kirk Gibson smashes one, and it's 1-0 Tigers. That ball was crushed. Here it is again. My word, was that well hit. Is that a backdoor slider? 399 feet. I think it went further than that. I think that hit that box up there in right center. Oh, my. And Kirk really could. He was a cornerback, right? Not a quarterback, but a corner with Michigan State. He was a very good college football player. Lance Parrish, 257, 22 homers, and 62 RBI. Hurst Steele struck him out. So Hurst fans, too. Parrish chased a 0-2 fastball, but that will do. Tigers get the run on the mammoth home run from Kirk Gibson after 1 here in Detroit. Detroit 1, Boston nothing. So Armas, Barrett, and Hoffman to face Morris, who threw 29 pitches. And if this doesn't say mid-80s Red Sox baseball, 2 hits and 3 left on, nothing else does. Tony at 264, 11 homers and 58 RBI. Armas had spent most of the mid-80s being a 35, 40 home run guy. So this drop-off for him was concerning enough that the Red Sox went out and got power. Struck him out. That's 2 for Morris. A 2-2 swung on and missed. 1 out. For Marty Barrett, Marty, the ALCS MVP, 286, 4 homers, and 60 RBI. So, Enzo, I hope that kind of answered your question. That is into center field for a base hit. So, Marty, not quite the reverse, second-person leadoff hitter. Does have good speed on the bases, but not stealing. Here's Glenn Hoffman, future Dodger manager at 217 and an RBI. You used to watch Kirk play catch with Rick Leach when Leach was with the Blue Jays, tossing the old pigskin around. Of course, Leach was, at the time, an historically good quarterback for the University of Michigan. Remember, we booed Tom Brady at Michigan because we're idiots. That's why. Pitch to Hoffman. And Glenn draws the walk. So Barrett to second, Hoffman on first for Dwight Evans, who's 0 for 1. 44 pitches from Morris his first time through. Inning in a third, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. I wonder how well they got along. Leach with the Blue Jays, of course, and Gibby with the Tigers. And if you go back to their college days, Leach with the University of Michigan and Sparty being the home of Kirk Gibson at Michigan State. There's a fly ball left field. Herndon going back, and Larry to the track will make the catch for the out. Barrett will run. McNamara sends him to third. Hoffman will hold at first. The throw to Coles gets away, and the run scores. So a throwing error from Herndon, and Hoffman goes to second. So the run is earned. Shouldn't be, because it wouldn't have scored with 2 out. But you have to reconstruct the inning after it's over. So for the moment, that's an earned run. Wade Boggs singled his first time up. This is a really good Tigers team. They are 2 years removed from that World Series mark. They were good. They had the one great year until Warren Moon crushed their dreams and went undrafted. Thanks, Craig. Yes. And then won what? He won 5 Grey Cups with the Eskimos. There are some really good teams. There are 5 teams I think that could win the East. I think Boston, the Yankees. Wouldn't that be just funny if it's a Yankee-Met World Series? Toronto, who would be my sleeper pick. Detroit and Milwaukee. We'll show you the standings in a moment. Pitch to Boggs, and Wade draws the walk. 4 as a starter. Here's Buckner. He singled his first time up. Rice on deck. 1-1, top of the second, 2 out. Pitch to Buck. Got away from Parrish, and Hoffman and Boggs move up 90. It's a remarkable accomplishment. And Moon was an ideal CFL quarterback. He was mobile. Pitch to Buckner. There's a ground ball to Trammell. Boggs has to skip over it. Trammell a bang-banger to first, and Buckner is safe. That's his second infield hit of the ballgame, with the Red Sox lead at 2-1. How about that? So Boggs on third. Here's Rice. He can't run a new double play, so no one gets banned. He walked his first time up. Oh, yeah, Red Sox, Yankees, Mets, Yankees World Series would be peachy. Well, Bart Lowe would love it. And Sean will be bringing, Sean DeMarco will be bringing up the ghost of Moose Gowan. Pitch to Rice. Fly ball, right center. Lemon will make the grab, and that will do. Red Sox get 2 on 2 hits and an error, and those runs should not be earned. After an inning and a half, Boston 2, Detroit 1. I think Buckner hurt his knee late in the year. I remember he wore high tops late in the season. But he was always a decent fielder. He had 6 steals, too, I think. Chet Lemon at 251, 12 homers and 53 RBI. Pitch to Chester, fly ball left center. Arm is going way back, and that is long gone. And the Red Sox lead lasts for 1 batter. Oh, my word. Are we using the 1987 baseballs in 1986? That's shot out of there like a thing of puffed rice. You put that on a tee, I'm not sure that it goes farther. Here's Trammell, 277, 21 homers and 75 RBI. Oh, in the late 70s, sliding into second for the Expos, against the Expos. That would make sense. He had 20 stolen bases some years when he was with the Dodgers. Tougher job in 26. Rockies manager or football game developers trying to code the Jets defense with no interceptions. You never know what's going to happen over the course of a season. I don't think the Rockies are going to do all that well. I think trying to figure out how to handle the Jets. And I can't say how happy, quote-unquote, I am that the Giants are not firing their GM. Does Merrill want to win? RJ Aldo an 80 tonight for his opening day. So 2-2 the score. Nobody on. Trammell draws the walk. I don't know how in 17 games you don't pick off a pass, especially with the pass run ratio in the NFL being, 57-43? How do you not intercept a pass? Here's Larry Herndon, 247, 8 homers and 37 RBI. Fly ball to right. Evans should make the catch, and Trammell goes back. And you get the Bears and Packers playing in the first round of the play. That should no longer be called the wild card round. If you're going to have 6 games on the weekend, call it the first round. When you have 3 divisional winners, they aren't wild cards. But I'm an old man, now get off my lawn. Darrell Evans, batting 8th at 241, 29 homers and 85 RBI. Mark, this team can rake, as you can see from the 2 home runs that Detroit has on the board. Oh, Pete Carroll was fired? Gosh, I'm shocked. At what point does Brady leave the broadcast booth and take over running the Raiders? Left or right center, back goes Armas, and that ball is gone. Kaboom. So it's 4-2 Tigers. Evans, 374 feet. The wind is blowing in. Doesn't seem to make a darn bit of difference. So 3 home runs for Detroit and 4 runs on the board. And in 86, if this had happened, you'd be flipping to see when the Celtics were on. Darnell Coles at 273, 20 homers out of the 9-hole, and 86 RBI. Yeah, the Jets are pretty inept. That's a base hit left field. So Rice will pick it up. Cole's a long turnaround before he goes back. Opening 9 for hers, 37 pitches, inning and a third. 4 runs, all earned. 4 hits and 3 have left the yard. Gibson, Lemon, and Evans. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Dave Collins 0 for 1. Put the mouse in the right spot. There's a snap throw down to first, and they get Coles napping. Gedman, who's got a great arm, flung it down to Buckner, and Darnell Coles was caught looking at Morgana in the third row. We're not going to tell her you where, just in case she pops on the field. That'd be a great rare play for Mr. Cook. Some statuesque blonde interrupts the play to hug the pitcher. Dave Collins 0 for 1. It just looked like the early 70s Buffalo Bills. Except for there's no pee-pee coming down from the helmet. Got him! So Hurst has fanned 3. That's the good news if you're a Red Sox fan. The bad news, 3 more runs on 3 hits. 2 of them leaving the yard, no errors. We go to the third. On opening day, Tigers 4, Red Sox 2. Which I meant today, with the exception of the Red Sox, I manage the home teams. But I always manage Boston. Mr. Dave, Norfolk Southern fan, will tell me the time I didn't manage Boston. But outside of that, it's the home teams. So when we do the Padres and the Dodgers next, I'll be doing the Dodgers. Don Baylor 0 for 1. Morris has already thrown 64 pitches through 2. Strikes out Baylor on a full count. Got him looking, 1 out. For Gedman, who's 0 for 1. Morgana was more likely to be at National League games as she was married. Oh, was she really? I did not know that. Married to umpire Dick Stello. That's his real name, huh? That's not a stage name for wink wink nudge nudge movies. Say no more. Gedman swings, ground ball to Trammell. Easy over to Evans, and Gedman is retired, 2 out. For Armas, who's 0 for 1. Second verse to Trammell is going to be maybe the same as the first. Armas is running, but he's out on a bang-banger. That was a little closer, but no cigar. After 2.5, no runs, no hits, no errors. Red Sox trail 4-2. The curse of working in the media. So Whittaker, Gibby, and Parrish to face Hurst here in the third. Lou is 0 for 1. That is a high ground ball to Hoffman, who makes a rare great play. Behind the bag over to first, 1 out. For Gibby, who hit a mammoth solo homer his first time up. Yep, I agree. Trammell and Whittaker should be in the Hall of Fame. That is a chopper to third. Boggs in the hole, over to Buckner, and Gibson safe. Boggs, in case you're wondering, a 6 range and a .953 fielding percentage. Infield hit, Gibson 2 for 2. Here's Parrish, he's 0 for 1. Struck him out, that's 4 for Hurst. 2-2 fastball in there at the knees, 2 out for Lemon, who homered his first time up. Got him! That's 5. An 0-2 cutter, and that will do. Tigers leave on their first runner of the year. No runs and no errors after 3. Detroit 4, Boston 2. So Barrett, Hoffman, and Evans to face Morris here in the fourth. Marty swings, hard ground ball to third. Coles has it, long throw to Evans, 1 out. For Hoffman, who reached on an error and scored. Don Mattingly will be the bench coach in Philadelphia this year. I wonder what John's thoughts are about that, if he's still here. That is a fly ball, shallow right field. Gibson throws it back in, and Hoffman has the 5th Red Sox hit. So Morris, 82 pitches, 3 1/3. No, I don't think either run should be earned, to be honest. 5 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Dewey is 0 for 2. Because they came following the error on the throw. And with 2 out. Explain that one. I mean, shouldn't those runs be unearned? Fly ball, left field. Herndon turns and watches it go. Evans gets his opening day home run, but it comes in the 4th and not the 1st. And it's a 4-4 game. It's like an Oprah thing. You get a home run. You get a home run. You get a home run. Pitcher's duel, this is not. So 4-4 the score. Here's Boggs. 1 for 1 with a single. Ground ball to third. Coles waits for the hop, throws to first, and Boggs is retired. 2 out for Buckner, who has singled twice in this one. And driven in a run. Morris has already thrown 88 pitches. Well, there's 3. Trammell, too, right? Oh, Trammell's in the Hall of Fame. Yep, Whitaker does, and so does Dewey. I absolutely agree. How you doing, Aaron? Yep, Trammell and Whitaker were the Gold Dust twins. Whitaker, oh, Trammell, yep. Whitaker said Trammell got the gold, and I got the dust. Pitch to Buckner is a ground ball to first. Evans underhands it to Morris, and that'll do. Red Sox get 2 on the homer from Dwight Evans. 2 runs, 2 hits after 3.5, 4-4. So just in case you forgot, here's how we ended up 1986 in real life. The Astros 5 over Cincinnati. I'd forgotten that. I thought San Francisco was their closest competitor. We'll see. You know, the Reds finished back of the Dodgers in 88. We know how that turned out. Again, NBC News projects the Mets will win the East. I don't see anyone catching them. What was the deal with St. Louis? Did they just not have the World Series hangover? In the West, California and Texas, the only 2 teams to finish above 500. You finish above 500, you're contending. In the East, 5.5 for the Red Sox over the Yankees, 8.5 over the Tigers, and the Jays, 9.5. No, Cleveland is at 15. Interesting. I thought it was Milwaukee. And because it's opening day and we're showing both, those are the leaders in both leagues. Tony Armas, part of that great A's outfield in the early 80s, right, with Henderson. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Detroit had won the championship in your replay season. Doesn't surprise me. They are deep. Alan Trammell walked in the second. Ground ball to Barrett. Marty throws to first for the out. The 86 Mets were the crazy team. Yeah, the poll question of the day is, do you take the Mets or do you take the field? And right now, the Mets are taking 44% of the vote. I don't know. I think the Mets win the East with ease. I think that Mike Scott is the same as John Tudor in 85. You don't know it, obviously, on opening day, but if it's the Astros, I think they win the pennant. There is a base hit left side. Passed Hoffman. Rice will throw it back in, and Herndon is now 1 for 2. Darrell Evans homered his first time up. All 3 of these Tiger home runs have been cannon shots. How many people are we going to ban on opening day? Hitting for power, speed, defense, starting pitching, relief pitching. Yeah, the uncanny ability to do all the coke in the world and win. Yeah, I mean, the 86 Mets are a hell of a team. Absolutely. RJL says in every 86 replay he has watched, no matter what Carton Dice or Digital, the 86 Mets have never won it all. Yep, then there's Lenny Bias. Ugh, don't get me started. Someone in the Strat Fan forum who does a lot of replays redid 86, and I think he manually played out the Red Sox games. And the Red Sox beat the Mets in 7. Pitch to Evans. Darrell, fly ball to Dwight, no relation to right, and Dwight will make the grab, Herndon back to first. If J.R. Richard doesn't have the stroke at 80, the Astros win in 80? Oh, absolutely. Maybe the best 5-game series of all time was that 80 NLCS. Darnell Coles has a single on his dance card. He's 1 for 1. Mark says, for me, they do win season replays, but when I've done greatest teams, the Mets don't get as far. It's kind of hard to put what the best team ever is. And J.R. Richard was indeed a machine. Pitch to Cole, slow bounder to Hurst, throw to Buckner. Coles is retired, and we go to the fifth. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 4 on opening day, Red Sox 4, Tigers 4. Jim Rice 0 for 1 with a walk. Morris, he might have 2 innings left. Struck him out. He got Rice on a swinging on a 1-2 fastball, 1 out. Here's Baylor. Baylor is 0 for 2. Ryan trying to... The other thing there, Greg, was what? 3 of those games went extra? You couldn't get much closer on paper than the Phillies and the Astros in 1980. Pitch to Baylor. There is a ground ball to third. Coles over to Evans, and Baylor is retired. Gedman 0 for 2. The other thing with 3 and 5 days is that there were 3 games indoors, so there wasn't a chance of a rainout. But that's why you got Nolan Ryan. Gedman 0 for 2. Struck him out halfway through game 1 at 5 after 12 on a 6-degree day in Burlington, Vermont. 4-4. I forgot when I started that, so if you join us late, here's how we got here. Opening day at Tiger Stadium, Red Sox failed to score with 2 hits and a walk in the first. Kirk Gibson, a mammoth solo homer in the bottom of the first to make it 1-0. Red Sox got 2 in the second. Dwight Evans, a sac fly to make it 1-1. Bill Buckner with a single to score Glenn Hoffman following an error to make it 2-1. In the bottom of the inning, the Tigers went ahead 4-2. Chet Lemon smashed a 410-foot upper deck shot to left center to make it 2-2. And then Darrell Evans with a pop gun to make it 4-2 with his first of the year, a 2-run shot. In the fourth, Dwight Evans did what he did in real life to start the year, a home run, this time a 2-run variety to make it 4-4. Bruce Hurst, 6 hits through 4. 4 runs, all earned. He's allowed 3 homers. He's walked 1 and struck out 5. Jack Morris threw 5, 6 hits, 4 runs. Are they really all earned? I would have thought that would have been 2. Well, the 2 of them should be because the home run. He's walked 3 and struck out 5. Hurst is throwing 76 pitches. I read you the rest of the numbers. Third time through. Dave Collins is 0 for 2. 4 games went extra innings. And the Yankees got taken out by the Royals in one of the great moments of my childhood. The Astros do have trouble scoring runs at times. The thing is, that team was built for the Astrodome. So, kind of like the Cardinals blueprint, great starting pitching, speed, and manufacturing runs. Pitch to Collins is a base hit right center. Evans will cut it off. And Dave holds with a single for Lou Whitaker, who's 0 for 2. Fly ball, right center. Back goes Evans, and Whitaker has homered. Hit that one off the facing of the second deck, and it's 6-4 Detroit. Hurst, who only gave up 18 homers all year, has given up 4 today. It's like watching Gallagher smash watermelons, for goodness sakes. Look. Yeah, you can argue back and forth whether Stanley threw the wild pitch in Game 6 or Dewey threw the... or Gedman, it was a pass ball. Wouldn't matter. The game was going to extras anyway. Here's Gibby, 2 for 2. He is singled and homered. Struck him out, 6 for Hurst. Brings up Parrish, who's 0 for 2. Well, if Dewey hadn't misplayed that fly ball in Game 7 of the 88 series on this channel, the Red Sox would have a championship. And Parrish draws the walk. Thank you, Jim. Any chance your Giants can make a run? Again, memories being what they are. Here's Lemon, 1 for 2, a home run rather, and a run scored. I thought the Giants finished second to the Astros at 86. Always possible. I'm trying to think what the biggest change in real-life margin was. You never know. There goes Parrish. It gets away from Gedman all the way to the backstop, and it's a 2-1 count. That's a wild pitch, and that will be a single. And let's see what Parrish will hold at third. Rice has an average arm. So first and third, 1 out for Trammell, who has walked and scored. He's 0 for 1. Trevor Hoffman gave up 16 homers in a season less than... Oh, yes. Trevor Hoffman's who I thought of when I was talking about Bob Stanley last night. Detroit. We've substituted Detroit for Denver. Let's see if anyone notices. Steve went at Tiger Stadium on Umbrella Day and it got rained down. You got another umbrella the next day? That's funny. Thanks, Alanis. That's over Barrett into center field. Parrish will score. Lemon holds at second. That'll do it for Bruce Hurst. We're going to go with... We'll go with Mike Brown. Notice who's... Oh, no, Clemens is listed as a starter. So Mike Brown not there on picture day, 27 years old. He will go to Seattle before the season's done. Fastball at 89. 4-4 with Boston, a 5.34 ERA. 15 games, 10 starts, 57 in the third, 72 hits, 35 runs, 34 earned, 10 homers. He walked 25 and struck out 32. Oh, goody. Herndon 1 for 2, a single. Is Hoffman related to Stanley? Yeah, 6-5 was the real one. Yep, Boston did not give you any indication the first part of the year that this was a World Series team. Pitched to Herndon, struck him out. A 1-2, and Larry chased it. For Darrell Evans, who has a home run, Tigers have hit a ton of them today. 7-4 here in the fifth. Slapper down to Buckner. Brown to the bag for the out. And Brown does his job. However, the Tigers put 3 more up. On 4 hits, another home run, no errors. And after 5 on opening day, 7-4 Detroit. So Armas, Barrett, and Hoffman to face Morris, who maybe have another inning left in him. Tony 0 for 2. Yep, they're doing better already. Tony draws the walk. 4th walk for Morris. Here's Marty Barrett. Do we bunt here? Marty will drop one down. Evans goes to pick it up. They throw to Winnegar, and Marty is retired. So Armas on second for Hoffman, who has reached twice and singled once. He's 1 for 1. He has scored 2 of the Red Sox 4 today. Yep, Greg is a fan of Detroit, just not the Tigers. Cardinals have fired their coach today. Yeah, he did. John, what do you think of Mattingly being your bench coach? Pitched, Parrish and Morris have a word. Jack deals, Hoffman swings, fly ball, left field. Herndon coming in, Trammell going out. Larry calls him off, makes the catch. Armas isn't going anywhere. But the Giants don't fire their GM. Here's White Evans. Dewey 1 for 3. homered in the fourth and has driven in 2. Morris, 5 2/3, 4 runs, all earned. 6 hits, no home run to Dewey. He's walked 4 and struck out 5. Base hit right field. Lemon will pick it up. Arm is halfway around third. Gets the wave home, and it's 7-5. So Mr. Morris isn't covering himself in clover. Wade Boggs 1 for 2. A single and a walk. John likes the Mattingly move considering the relationship he has with Topper. And he has a track record of winning. That's true everywhere he's gone. His son is our GM. Mattingly's kid is your GM? Yeah, I'm happy Mattingly got the ring, or did not get the ring. I'm not happy he didn't get the ring. It's hard to believe that he never has had one. Pitch to Boggs. There's a base hit, right center field. Gibson picks it up. Evans on his way to third, and the Red Sox have the tying run on, 2 out for Buckner. See how long the computer goes with Morris. Bill is 2 for 3. He has singled twice and driven in a run. I'm old. If Don Mattingly's kid is a Major League GM, I'm officially old. Buckner swings. That's a base hit left center field. Evans will score. Boggs around third and will score. And Buckner's into second with a double. It's 7-7. And old friend Bill Campbell will come in to pitch. So Campbell, 37 years old, 3-6 in 86, a 3.880 ERA, 34 appearances for Sparky. 3 saves, 55 2/3 for Bill, 46 hits, 26 runs, 24 earned, 5 homers. He's walked 21 and struck out 37. Bet you had this on the dance card, right? A 7-7 tie in the 6th. Here's Jim Ed. Buckner on second, 2 out. Rice 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. Browns fired their coach, so your Browns boycott ends. Join the club. Curtis, go Tigers. Mr. Whitaker and I share the same birthday, although he's a few years older than you. Okay. And the Browns' problems are not just the coach. Coaches are scapegoats. Pitch to Rice. There's a ground ball to first. Darrell Evans is there, takes it to the bag, and that will do. 5.5. I'm supposed to do 2 games today. 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And if you're wondering about the pitchers being ahead of the catchers, not here. It's the Red Sox 7, the Tigers 7. So it'll be Coles, Collins, and Whittaker to face Mike Brown, which means that Bob Staley is lurking down in the corner in the bullpen. Tarnell 1 for 2 with a single. The Browns don't have a quarterback. Be curious to see what Sanders can do if he's given a full chance. How good or bad was he? Or an offensive line, or receivers. It does look like a softball game. Doing the manual entry, I was playing the Giants and the Yankees from 78, and the Giants, according to the computer, have those black uniforms. Definitely softball double nits. Pitch to Coles. Fly ball left center. Back goes Rice, and another one leaves the yard. Apparently, we opened up the box of 87 baseballs, because that's the 5th home run today for the Tigers. It's 8-7. So the Lions convert the 2-point conversion, and they lead the Patriots. 2 more runs, and someone will outscore the Jets from yesterday. So here's Collins, 1 for 3 with a single. 8 runs, 11 hits, an error for the Tigers. They've left on 4. The Red Sox, 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and they have left on 6. Up the middle, Barrett intercepts it, over to Buckner for the out. 1 away. Brown is trying to eat some innings here. He's gone 1. Here's Whittaker, Lou, 1 for 3. He's homered in this one along with everyone else. I have no trouble with the Lions. He fouls it off, and the count is 0-2. That is ripped into center field past Barrett, between Barrett and Hoffman, rather. And Whittaker has the 12th hit. There must be a keg of straws at first and third base. Here's Gibby. He's 2 for 3. He has homered and struck out and singled. Fly ball to right. Evans going back to the wall and makes the catch. Gibby thought that was gone. Gibby looks over at Whittaker, and Whittaker just shakes his head. 2 out for Lance Parrish, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and struck out twice. Yep, since they started recording that statistic in 1933, the New York Jets are the first team in NFL history, and they had 17 chances to do this. Did not have an interception. How do you put that into a card and dice game? There's a fly ball to left. Back goes Rice. Jim should make the catch, and we are through 6. Tigers get another home run. 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 7th here at Tiger Stadium at opening day. Detroit 8, Boston 7. Strat's going to have an interception to the QB card, like the N in baseball for the home runs. Don Baylor is 0 for 3. I mean, obviously, in Strat, pitch to Baylor. There's a ground ball foul, and somebody from Windsor made that grab. Interceptions would have to come off, most of them come off the quarterback's card. I mean, obviously, the Jets aren't going to be carded for any interceptions whatsoever. I don't know how APA works as far as if that's, might be easier in APA. Pitch to Baylor. Ground ball to third. Coles has it. Over to Evans. In Solitaire Pro, you just don't have an interception rating for the Jets. And since that's all card and dice anyway, I would think you would ignore it. I don't know how you do that. Rich Gedman is 0 for 3. Who was it? It was Bob Tewksbury who had the 170 innings one year with 2 walks or whatever. That would be almost impossible to model. But that's going to be one of those things that in any game engine that just breaks the curve. Pitch to Gedman is a fly ball to left. Herndon going back. Larry will retreat and make the catch. 2 out for Tony Armas, who's 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. It is an insane stat. Brent for sure. John is playing 86. Tampa Bay has a long gain of a long pass of 47, and Green Bay had a long gain of D12. That's bad. I think again on the computer, which doesn't care, the Jets will get interception. But if you're playing, you're going to have it as a house rule that it would just be an incomplete pass. Base hit right field. Gibson will pick it up, and Tony is now 1 for 3. 2 out for Marty Barrett. Marty has a single, and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. That is a ground ball. No, Evans snares it. Stretch time. 8-7 Detroit. Robert says there were 179 home runs hit at Tiger Stadium. I don't know if you can see this up at the top or not. I'm not sure what I'm showing and what I'm not showing. But they get their database for the ballpark effects from Seamheads, and it's showing for home runs a minus 5% chance for lefties as opposed to average, and for right-handed batters minus 15%. Chet Lemon has homered today. RBI, struck out, single, 2 for 3. How many will Blyleven give up? 8,005. I mean, do you give him a chance? I suppose. I mean, that's up to you, I suppose. And yep, should the Jets have the chance to get an interception? Inquiring minds want to know. That's what Gardner would say, and I think you're right. Fly ball to center. Armas is there. 1 out. Trammell 1 for 2. A walk and an RBI. Mike Brown has thrown 2 innings and kept the Red Sox in this. That is a base hit over Buckner into right field. Evans will cut it off. 1-2 today. Larry Herndon is 0 for 3. Padres and Dodgers to follow from the coast. Gedman and Brown have a word. Mike deals. There's a ground ball to Barrett. Kaufman for 1. There is no throw. 2 out. Herndon on first. So they get the fielder's choice. Darrell Evans has homered, driven in 2, and is 1 for 3. Yeah, Chet Lemon is one of those Cecil Cooper underrated players. I don't either when I play Strat. Their long run is whatever the dice dictate it. You can set the option in Strat football that no one should exceed whatever their longest carry is. I ignore that. My philosophy has been, and if you guys have watched me for years, once you take the virtual rubber bands off, it's all fictional. Pitch to Evans. Fly ball to right. At Dwight going in. Buckner coming out. Dewey's there, and we're through 7. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 8th on opening day. 1-2. Tigers 8, Red Sox 7. So Hoffman, who will stay in the ballgame, my goodness, he's 1 for 2. He singled and walked and scored twice. Evans and Boggs to follow. Based on how John interprets Strat's ratings, the Jets will be poor versus the run and very poor versus the pass. Yep. Jamie, I agree to say that there's not a chance of something happening that isn't something remote event contradicts reality. And again, I mean, we've come a long way from the days of Revis Island. Pitch to Hoffman is a ground ball to short. Trammell's got it over to Darrell Evans, 1 out. Here's Dwight Evans. Dewey 2 for 4. Homered in the 4th. This was the game that he homered the first batter of the year. He's driven in 3 of Boston's 7. Most home runs by visiting player at Exhibition Stadium was Jim Rice. With good reason, because he was the best player ever with 18. How much higher was the Jets' defense pass completion compared to the rest of the NFL? Pitch to Dewey, and he draws the walk. Next season, Aaron Rodgers. We already did that. Paul, how are you? It is damn cold in hot Sarah. Yeah, my wife is asleep because she's not feeling well either. Wade Boggs 2 for 3. His single twice and walked. Campbell deals. Parrish and Campbell have a word. Evans the tying run. And he strikes out, and the 84 Cy Young Award winner, Willie Hernandez, coming into pitch. 2 out in the top of the 8th. Willie trying to slam the door here. He had 24 saves in real life. 31 years old. Fastball at 89, a fly ball pitcher. 8-7, a 3.55 ERA. 64 games, 88 2/3. 88.2, that's on the FM dial. 87 hits, 35 runs, all earned. 13 homers. He walked 21 and struck out 77. Is Parrish a Hall of Famer? I'd put him in the class of Billy Freehan, to be honest, and debatable. Fly ball, center field. Buckner 3 for 4. Lemon is there and will make the catch. Bottom 8 here on opening day. Tigers 8, Red Sox 7. Sox have left on 8, Detroit 6. Mike Brown, 2 2/3. Most home runs by a visiting player at Jerry Park. Willie Stargell, who put one into the swimming pool, has 17. Darnell Coles, 2 for 3, a single, or 2 singles, a home run, and an RBI. Base hit, left field. Rice, no, that's going to be an extra bases as Rice grabs it off the wall. Coles has a double. Collins 1 for 4. And we'll come get Mike Brown. What do I do here? Switchy, lefty, lefty. The computer says Sammy Stewart. So that's what we'll go with. Sammy, 31 years old, 4-1, a 4.38 ERA, 27 appearances, 63 2/3, 64 hits, 33 runs, 31 earned, 7 home runs. He's walked 48 and struck out 47. Somewhere Earl Weaver's having a Chesterfield. Collins 1 for 4. He has singled and struck out twice. Believe it or not, the team this year with the worst passing defense was the Jets, or the Miami. It's 72%. You were there when Stargell put it in the swimming pool? Parrish was a Gold Glove catcher. At times, 300 homers. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. You never hear his name come up in conversation, though. That is ripped into center right at Armas, who will let it bounce and try to save the run. Coles goes into third. If he doesn't make the catch, that's a run, and Collins is on with a double. So nobody out. Red Sox are playing to get Coles out at the plate. Here's Whittaker, 2 for 4. A walk here would not be the end of the world. He has homered, singled, and driven in 2. That's cool. Parrish before Posada. Interesting. That is a base hit left center field. Rice will cut it off. Coles will score. Collins into third. And it's 9-7 Detroit. Fernando Valenzuela and Eric Shaw warming in Los Angeles for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Gibby 2 for 4 with a home run, a single, an RBI, and a strikeout. Popped up. Barrett on the grass will make the grab. 1 out for Lance Parrish, 1 for 3. Yeah, Boston's pitching was Boston's pitching. Wasn't it the rallying cry in the Spanish-American War? Parrish before Posada. And you'd be wondering how much Ronrico did you drink before saying that. Pitch to Parrish, who's 0 for 3. Got away from Gedman, who gets the pass ball, and it's 10-7. And the Red Sox are out to lunch today. Jeez and crow. So Whittaker moves to second. 1 out. And Parrish draws the walk. Goodness gracious, Buffy St. Marie. Lemon 2 for 4, a single, a solo homer, an RBI, and a strikeout. Dewey groans. Fly ball, left center, Armas makes the grab. Whittaker goes back to second, 2 out for Trammell, who has singled twice, walked, and driven in a run. Da-da, da-da, yep. Get it out of their system on opening day. Pitch to Trammell. There is a ground ball to third. Boggs has got it. He'll go to first, and Buckner makes the play. Tigers add on 2 with 3 hits and no errors. We go to the 9th on opening day. Detroit 10. Patriots need a field goal. So 3 to tie, 4 to go ahead. Rice, Baylor, and Gedman, but that's all against Willie Hernandez. Fly ball to right. Gibson, Rice was 0 for 3. Gibby, 1 out. For Don Baylor, 0 for 4 in his Red Sox debut. Base hit left field. Pass Trammell in the left. Baylor has average speed. We don't do lefty versus lefty. Oh, God. This is... Ugh. It'll be... Steve Lyons, Psycho, in his limited time in Boston, 250, a home run, and 14 RBI. That's a ground ball to Trammell. This might end it. Whittaker for 1. Nope, Psycho's going to reach. So 2 out. Last chance saloon. Tony Armas is walked and struck out. He's 1 for 3. Hernandez deals. That's up the middle. Whittaker to Evans, and the Tigers win this one comfortably by the score of 10-7. Don't forget, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes of forgettable Red Sox baseball. 10 runs, 16 hits, and an error for Detroit. They leave on 8. The Red Sox, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They left on 9. Tigers hit 5 home runs. Bruce Hurst started 4 1/3, 10 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 4 homers. He walked 2 and struck out 6. Mike Brown, I thought for a guy that ended up with an earned run average of 6.75, pitched okay. 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned a homer and a strikeout, and slamming Sammy Stewart. 1 inning, 2 hits, a run, and a walk. The win goes to Bill Campbell. Jack Morris, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned. The home run to Evans. He walked 4 and struck out 5. Bill Campbell gets the win and a big sly smile. 2 innings, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. And Willie Hernandez retired 4 of the 5 men he faced to get the save. So we'll give Whittaker the MVP. He drove in 3. And we'll get set for game number 2 as you watch the standings populate. There you go. It's the closest the Cubs are going to get all year to first place. First, let's tell you about the split day doubleheader. Tomorrow, Kansas City and New York. And on Wednesday, the Cubs and the Cardinals. So those are the other 2 games this week. But to Los Angeles we go. For Eric Shao on a gorgeous night in Los Angeles against 20-game winner Fernando Valenzuela. '86 is a tough season to manage because they used only 24, not 25. Oops. That's why you're not the biggest fan of exact seasonal left-right stats. Splits. Both teams did not finish above 500. The Dodgers didn't recover, and neither did the Cardinals. So here's how the Padres will line up for opening day. Bip Roberts at second will lead off. Tony Gwynn in right will bat second. Kevin McReynolds in center will go third. Steve Garvey at first will clean up. Carmelo Martinez in left. Yeah, I think Tony Gwynn is probably the best hitter any of us ever saw. Carmelo Martinez in left will bat fifth. Gary Templeton is at short. He'll bat sixth. Terry Kennedy behind the plate goes seventh. Jerry Royster at third will bat eighth. And Eric Shao on the mound goes ninth. Fernando, 120 pitches. And if he's pitching well, that can get you through. Dodger defense is this. Franklin Stubbs, a 5 and a 6 in left. Kenny Landreau a 5 and a 5 in center, and Mike Marshall a 5 and a 4 in right. That's not a championship outfield. Bill Madlock at third. Wow, a 5. Mariano Duncan a 6 and a 6 at short. Steve Yakety Sachs a 9 and a 7 at second. And Greg Brock an 8 at first. Mike Scioscia behind the plate an 8 and a 5. And Fernando a perfect 10 on the mound, with a .987 fielding percentage. That's right, Greg Maddux. What did Tony Gwynn hit 400 off of him? Biff Roberts at 253, a home run and 12 RBI. So the weather ideal here in Los Angeles, as it should be, for opening night at Chavez Ravine. That is a ground ball to Sachs, who throws to Brock, 1 out. And that's how this one starts. Tony Gwynn at 329, 14 homers, and 59 RBI. Tuesdays aren't played this year for day games because the wifey's chiropractor's appointments have moved. Pitch to Gwynn. Fly ball, left field. Stubbs reaches over, makes the catch, 2 out. For Kevin McReynolds, Mets are eyeing him. 288, 26 homers, and 96 RBI. Except in the World Series for Greg Maddux. There's something about Bobby Cox and Earl Weaver. La Russa got his second World Series win. Exceptional regular season managers, and so disappointing come October. How hard was it to strike out Tony Gwynn? He struck out less than 5% of the time in his entire career. That is insane. McReynolds into left. Stubbs. So 1-2-3 first. Fernando gets the side on 12 pitches. After half an inning, no score. So this will be the lineup that Eric Schau faces. I never did Fernando's numbers either. We'll do that in a moment. Mariano Duncan leads off at short. Kenny Landreau will bat second in center field. Bill Madlock at third will bat third. Greg Brock cleans up at first. Mike Marshall in right will bat fifth. I'm understanding why the Dodgers didn't contend in '86. Franklin Stubbs in left will bat sixth. Mike Scioscia behind the plate batting seventh. Steve Sachs at second goes eighth. Fernando will bat ninth, and Schau 110 pitches. Defensively for San Diego, Jerry Royster a 5 at third. Gary Templeton a 7 and a 7 at short. Biff Roberts a 6 and a 5 at second. That looks airbrushed. Steve Garvey a 9 at first. Camilo Martinez a 4 and a 4 in left. Kevin McReynolds a 6 and a 7 in center. Tony Gwynn a 10 and a 7 in right. Terry Kennedy a 5 and a 4 behind the plate. Schau, a 7 fielder, started 22 games, finished 2. 24 appearances, a good year, 9 and 5, a 2.97 ERA. And Schau never emotionally recovered from giving up Pete Rose's record-breaking hit in Cincinnati the previous September 11th, as a matter of fact. 136 and a third for Eric for 109 hits, 47 runs, 45 earned. 11 homers, he walked 69, struck out 94, a fastball pitcher and a ground ball pitcher. So Duncan at 229, 8 homers and 30 RBI. Maddox's ERA in the World Series was 209. Wow. That's pretty good. Paul would like to be in L.A. right now. Was watching the Rose Bowl parade last week, and it was pouring. If it stayed raining, the Rose Bowl would have been fun and messy. Ooh, I might have watched. Rose Bowl was always something you wanted to attend. Yep. Yeah, he never recovered from that. An ace, not the classical sense of an ace, but certainly was good in San Diego for a long time, but never recovered. Duncan drops one down. Kennedy picks it up. or Garvey, and the throw to first, and that's an error. So Kennedy throws it away. Mariano dropped one down and goes to second. It was a low throw, and Bip Roberts, who was covering the bag, couldn't get there. So that's a two-base error from the catcher. Here's Landreau at 261, 4 homers and 29 RBI. Ground ball to Templeton, over to Garvey, and Landreau's out. Duncan stays put, 1 away. For Bill Madlock at 280, 10 homers and 60 RBI. Lasorda coming off his third division title in 5 years, and then would shock the world 2 years from now in 88 with the ultimate MacGyver job, duct tape, Kirk Gibson, and bubblegum. Pitch to Madlock, fly ball, left center. McReynolds going back, and that's gone. Looks like the home runs have changed in distances. Madlock crushes that one 413 feet, and before D. Sky Howard can get in with the Goats, it's 2-0 LA. JT, how are you? And shout a good 88. But the Demons from giving up that single, I mean, someone was going to give up that hit. It wasn't like it was a walk-off hit. Shao had a lot of emotional problems, including a drug problem. It was the 80s. Greg Brock at 234, 16 homers and 52 RBI. But it's one thing being the answer to a trivia question. But he knew for the rest of his life he'd be best known not for what he did on the mound as a good pitcher, but as the one that gave up the hit to Rose. Pitch to Brock, popped up. Kennedy to the screen, makes the grab, 2 out. For Mike Marshall, 233, 19 homers and 53 RBI. Madlock's an interesting case because I think he was a good hitter, but he doesn't really pass the Keltner test. Can you tell the story of Major League Baseball without Bill Madlock? And I think the answer to that is easily. Al Downing, I think, though, was at the end of his career. He's the one that gave up Hank Aaron's 715th. Marshall gets hit. Marshall and Shao exchange looks, and Marshall is hurt. He's going to stay in the game, but he's rubbing his arm. No, he won't stay in the game. He's out. I got to find a pinch runner, and it will be a right fielder, Enos Cabell. Comes in, he can steal. Stubbs at 226, 23 homers, and 58 RBI. 3-time All-Star. Yeah, I put Madlock in the Hall of Very Good. And Shao balks now, and Cabell moves up to second. Madlock is one of those cards that when you opened up the pack of tops, you went, oh, Bill Madlock. But it wasn't, wow, Tom Seaver. Full count to Stubbs. Struck him out, and we're through 1. So the 2-run homer from Madlock puts the Dodgers on the board. 2 runs, a hit, and an error. And after 1, it's 2-0 LA. So Cabell, a 4 and a 4 in right at 36. Here's Garvey, who gets a mix of boos and cheers every time he comes into Dodger Stadium at 255, 21 homers at 81 RBI. Fernando threw 12 pitches in the first. Struck him out. Fernando, I forgot to do this. Jesus, Tommy. Wear out his arm. 21 and 11. An ERA of 34 starts, and he finished 20 of them. 3 shutouts, 269 and a third for Fernando, 226 hits, 104 runs, 94 earned, 18 homers, 85 walks, and he struck out 242. He's a Scroogey pitcher, a standard pitcher, because it's California. We don't call it Chevron. And 92 miles an hour when he throws the fastball. He's only 25. Carmelo Martinez at 238, 9 homers and 25 RBI. You got Dougie Flynn in your cards? Yeah. Yep. And Pat Zachary's as opposed to Tom Seavers. Last All-Star season for Fernando because Tommy threw his damn arm off. Pitch to Martinez. There's a ground ball to Duncan. Mariano's got it over to Brock, and Martinez is retired. 2 away for Gary Templeton. 247, 2 homers, and 44 RBI. Madlock, he played with the Cubs, but he also played with the Giants. He played with San Francisco. He played with the Pirates. He didn't play. He was never the big star on a big market team that you would see on Saturdays or Mondays. Pitch to Templeton, ground ball to third. Madlock's got it again, and that will retire the side. Inning and a half in the books. No runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers 2, Padres nothing. Gus wanted Ron Say cards. I wanted Jim Rice cards. Or anything with the Red Sox. Even Bob Stanley. Mike Scioscia, 251, 5 homers and 26 RBI. No, it's not his fault. But pitch to Scioscia. There's a ground ball to Roberts over to Garvey. And Scioscia's retired, 1 away. Steve Sachs at 332. What the hell is Tommy batting him 8th for? 6 homers, 43 doubles, and 56 RBI. JT Dutch with the Ron Say avatar agrees. Mike Scioscia, who pretty much had the Ace season too, along with the Mets. Ground ball to Templeton over to Garvey, and Sachs is retired. 2 out for Fernando at 220 and 7 RBI. Struck him out. We're through 2. Dodgers go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2 here at Chavez Ravine, the Dodgers 2, Padres nothing. So Kennedy, Royster, and Shaw to face Fernando here in the 3rd. Terry at 264, 12 homers and 57 RBI. If I rode a bike, Greg, then the Bob Stanley cards would have been great for that. Actually, had a wheelchair that had spokes. My first electric chair did have spokes. And belts, which you could only replace at sewing machine stores. Not kidding. Pitch to Kennedy. Fly ball, center field, Landreau. 1 out. For Jerry Royster at 257, 5 homers and 26 RBI. I didn't realize that Sachs hit 332. Yeah, he should be leading off by the end of April. There's a chopper to first. Brock will grab it, take it in the bag, and 2 out. For Eric Shaw, hitting 163 with an RBI. Fernando looks to the sky, deals to Shaw, ground ball to third. Madlock is there, over to Brock, and Shaw is out. 9 up, 9 down. For Fernando, after 2.5, Dodgers 2, Padres nothing. So opening 9 for Shaw, 2 innings. The 2 runs came on the home run from Madlock. That's been the lone hit, and he has struck out 2. Duncan scored because he reached on the air to start the season. Popped up, right side, Garvey to the dugout, and the seas do not part for Steve. It bounces off the top into someone from Anaheim who still thinks the Angels are playing here. 0-2 the count. Popped up again. This time it's Bip Roberts. A long run towards the visiting dugout, and that goes out of play. That fan is just trying to grab a beer, He doesn't have any Budweiser, but he does have 2 foul balls. Again, the 0-2. Walked him. So Duncan is on first with a good chance to steal. Here's Landreau. Can he 0 for 1? Yep, Lions beat the Patriots by a field goal. Tigers and Red Sox in a home run fest in Detroit. Tigers won at 10-7. We'll wait to see what Shaw does with Duncan. Landreau will swing away. And they throw to first, and Duncan's back. And Duncan is going to go. Throw down to Templeton, and Mariano has his first steal of the year. He'd steal 48 in real life. He's got 1 in the replay. Landreau, a 1-strike count. Shaw deals. That's a base hit past Garvey. That's going to go down the line and right. Gwynn will grab it. And they'll hold Duncan. So first and third, nobody out for Madlock, who homered and drove him 2 in the first time up. Dwight Evans did homer in that game for Boston, but not to start the season. He came in the 4th. Chop foul, first base side. Somebody from Long Beach made that play, and the count is 2-2. Shaw in the battle here in the 3rd. Popped up, right side. Again, it's Garvey. That's the visitors' dugout. And again, that poor person from Anaheim now has 3 balls. Just keeps hitting off the same place in the dugout. Chopper foul. First base side. And this time, someone from Santa Barbara, weekdays at 3 on NBC, made the grab. Shaw's giving up more. There's enough stuff to go foul. You got to go clean out your fridge after. The 2-2 to Madlock. And Bill draws the walk, so the bases are loaded. Never doubt the will of Landreau. You can love him for sure. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Even speaking of Budweiser, outside of St. Louis and Wrigley, who else would still sell all of it is IPAs? Now, if you look at that ad out there in right field above the dot matrix board, that's a Bud ad. I think Bud is still the official beer of baseball, isn't it? Uh-oh, Star Trek reference. Here's Brock. He's 0 for 1. Bases loaded. That it will be a bounder to Garvey. Steve. Web jam. Templeton. Back to Garvey. No. It's 3-0 Dodgers. Garvey robbed a run at least because Landreau would have scored. Steve's a great fielder. It's 3-0 Dodgers, and Garvey saved a run. And your 1978 self went, what? What do you mean? Garvey saved a run, but the Dodgers scored. Here's Cabell. Enos at 256, 2 homers, and 29 RBI. Not in Canada. It'd be Labatt in Canada, right? JT Justice Brock was your favorite player during this time. I thought he got a lot of undeserved grief for being the... It is impossible to replace a legend. Just ask Joe Davis. Pitch to Cabell. There's a ground ball to third. Royster. Landreau will score if they don't turn 2. Roberts for a 1, and Cabell's going to reach, and the run scores. It's 4-0 L.A. But not Labatt 50. Here's Franklin Stubbs. He's 0 for 1. Ground ball to first. Garvey to the bag. Takes it himself for the out, and that will do. 2 more for the Dodgers on a hit and no errors. We go to the 4th on opening day. Dodgers 4, Padres nothing. So, top of the lineup, 9 up, 9 down for Fernando and a strikeout. It wasn't Biff Roberts. Chopper to Duncan. A slow one, a snap throw, and Roberts is retired. 1 away. For Tony Gwynn. We weren't kidding about the strikeouts. In 701 plate appearances, he struck out 35 times. for a 4.99% chance of striking out. He must have had 2010 vision. I thought he was going to strike out right there. Ground ball to Duncan. Over to Brock, 2 out. The 86 Dodgers scoring 4 in 3 innings. The game's already a collector's item. Be on the best of their 86 Dodgers DVD. Here's Kevin McReynolds. He's 0 for 1. Fernando deals. High ground ball to Duncan. Over to Brock. 12 up, 12 down. After 3.5, 4-0 LA. And let's show you the extensive standings and stats for this 1986 season. That's how good Gwynn was. It's okay, the calculator took care of the math demos. If you missed it earlier, Tigers beat the Red Sox 10-7. Socha, Saxon, Fernando here in the 4th. Mike, 0 for 1. Base hit, left field. Martinez will grab it on a hard hop, and that's the 3rd hit for the Dodgers. Sax is 0 for 1. Jamie says, seems a lot of those new 80s guys and the Dodgers had trouble living up to expectations. No kidding. I mean, there was a lot to live up to, but taking that away, they all had solid seasons from the start. You had, and it wouldn't be the first time, I mean, you had all that success in Brooklyn, but by the time the LA Dodgers won in 59, that was pretty much a new team. And then again in the late 60s. And then those 70s kids who played in Albuquerque that came up through. Again, all great. And so, yeah, the expectations around. Darnell Coles had his moment in the top. Yep, the Tuffy Rhodes on opening day. Gwynn led the league in runs and hits. The manual entry is awesome. I like the new scoreboard, too. I really do. If we ever do 94, can Gwynn hit 400? He was hitting 394 when the strike hit. Pitch to Sax. There's a base hit, right center field. McReynolds cuts it off. Socha on his way to 3rd. Runners on the corners, and Shao is behind the 8 ball, down 4-0. Fernando, you can sacrifice here. You're not going to squeeze. Garvey and Royster play for the bunt. You know what? I'm going to steal Sax. Kennedy and Shao have a word. Sax goes. A throw down to Templeton, and Steve's in there. So his first stolen base of the year. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Now you're not going to squeeze. You got a 9-hit run here. Fernando's going to swing. Fly ball, left field. It might be deep enough. Martinez snares it. Socha back to the bag, and it's not deep enough. So 1 out, but a single would score 2. Duncan has walked and stolen a base. He's 0 for 1. Shao, 18 batters, 70 pitches, 3 1/3, 4 runs, 3 earned. The home run to Madlock. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. Yes, did not have a great time in New York, but Sax for the Dodgers was a good player. Duncan rips this one to right center. McReynolds can't get there. Socha scores. Sax will hold it 3rd. McReynolds let that drop in front of him to save the run. 5-0 Dodgers. Not getting some great games here to start. Here's Landreau. Kenny 1 for 2 with a single. Steve Sachs of The Simpsons fame. Bob Bailey stole second off of Johnny Bench. What replay were you doing? You'd have to hit it to Pasadena to score social. Landro, high ground ball down to Garvey. This should be 2. Sachs will score. Templeton for 1, and Landro's going to beat out the throw. So it's 6-0 Dodgers. And here's Madlock, who homered in the first. Shaw deals. Fly ball left field. Martinez will grab it, and that will do. A great play from Martinez, oh, by the way, to end the inning. However, the Dodgers have pummeled Eric Shaw. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. We go to the 5th in the second of our doubleheader. Dodgers 6, Padres zip. Expos Reds, 3-gamer in 71. So here's Garvey, the 13th batter for the Padres in the game. He's 0 for 1. Fernando deals, right center field. Landro, 1 out. For Carmelo Martinez, easy for me to say. Struck him out. That's just 2 for Fernando. Brings up Gary Templeton, who's 0 for 1. Got him halfway through. The spoiler on the screen. Dodgers 6, Padres nothing. Were you managing the Expos, Greg? 6 loved the first set. Tony Trabert was happy with the way that Fernando served. Kind of a screwball serve, a clay court game for Fernando. Eric Shaw was just no match. Anyway, 6-0 Dodgers. Bell Madlock, a 2-run homer in the first. In the third, they added 2 more on fielders' choices by Greg Brock and Enos Cabell. In the fourth, Mariano Duncan singled home Socha, and then Landro a fielder's choice to make it 6-0. Fernando has struck out 3 through 5. Eric Shaw questioning his life choices right now. 4 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. The home run to Madlock. He has walked 2 and struck out 2. Templeton was one of the heroes in the 84 NLCS. Yeah, I think they'd wanted that Ozzie for Templeton. Yeah, I think you'd want that over again. And Greg has been entering the Expos. Greg Brock 0 for 2 as we start the 5th. Ground ball to Templeton over to Garvey. I was mentioning talking about how the 86 Red Sox would change over the course of the year, and D. Scott Howard reminded me it was not the worst trade in Mariners Red Sox history, which sent Mike Trujillo, Mike Brown, and someone else to Seattle for Spike Owen and Dave Henderson. I wonder what he was talking about as far as a worst trade. And just remember, Slocum if you got him. Enos Cabell, 0 for 1 with an RBI. Uphill climb when you take a new team and try to improve on their real-life record. Yep, Fernando would get his no-no on the same day as Dave Stewart. Up the middle, Roberts over to Garvey. Ray Quinones, there you go. And there's 2 out for Franklin Stubbs, who's 0 for 2. Did I lose everybody? Or just my stats? Just my stats. And Stubbs draws the walk. Highly regarded Ray Quinones. That'll do it for Shaw. Tim Stoddard coming in to pitch for San Diego. A pitching change. This game coming to you from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. I hit the wrong button. I also got a hair in my face. Stoddard 1-3 for the Padres in '86. He's 33 years old. A 3.77 ERA, 30 appearances, 45 and a third, 33 hits, 20 runs, 19 earned, 6 homers. He walked 34 and struck out 47. And he would only pitch till July 3rd. The Padres' MO was a lot of savvy veterans around a pretty good core of Roberts, Gwynn, and McReynolds. But yet they went 74 and 88. Stubbs could steal. Socha 1 for 2 with a single. Quick blip, okay? That is true. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky. After Fernando threw that no-hitter. And that, one of those rare days, in fact, it might be the only day in Major League history there were 2 no-hitters. Weren't they both on ESPN as their games? Happy New Year, Kurt. Socha swings, ground ball to Stoddard, over to Garvey, and that is an out. We go to the 6th. The story is on the mound. Dodgers 6, Padres nothing. So Kennedy, Royster, and Stoddard to face, well, pinch hitter, I would think, to face Fernando here in the 6th. Struck him out. That's 4 for Fernando. Got him on a 2-2 screwball. Here's Royster. He's 0 for 1. Your former brother-in-law was at the Stewart no-hitter. The royalty of YouTube baseball is on display at Dodger Stadium. Pitch to Royster. Fly ball to right. Don't lose it that way. Back goes Cabell. Enos. 17 straight. So let's see what they do with Stoddard. He went 1 for 4 as a hitter. And that one hit was a home run. You saw Bill Stoneman throw one in '72 against the Mets. Wow. And Greg Nettles at 41 will come into pinch hit. 218, 16 homers, and 55 RBI. I've only watched 2 start to finish. No, 3. There's 3 now that I've watched. Jack Morris, opening weekend of '84. That one was on NBC. John Lester, it was against the Royals. I watched that from start to finish, and Roy Halladay's masterpiece in the NLDS against the Phillies, or against the Reds. Struck him out. 18 up, 18 down. Nettles strikes out. We've played 6 or 5.5. Gene Walter coming in to pitch for the Padres. 6-0 Dodgers. I want to know, who did Gil Hodges have to pay off to get that 69 Mets team to win 100 games? Because you're right, they couldn't hit in 69 either. Gene Walter, 57 appearances, 2 the record, a 3.86 ERA, 98 innings, my word, 89 hits, 47 runs, 42 earned. See, that's one of those baseball cards you get going, who the hell is that? 49 walks, 84 strikeouts. I wanted Seaver. Fastball at 94 and a ground ball pitcher. 25 years old. Sachs, you think I should pull Fernando? And Duncan here in the 6th. Sachs 1 for 2 today, a single and a stolen base. Ground ball to Roberts, over to Garvey, 1 out. Royster stays in the game, and Walter will bat 9th. Fernando 0 for 2. Up the middle, Templeton's grabbed it. Over to Garvey, 2 out. I'm not a big fan of that banner, but he's thrown a gem through 6. Sort of saw Nolan Ryan throw one against the Jays in game 1 of a Twinighter. He gave up a hit in the 1st. No, they wouldn't, because he's only at 70 pitches. His pitch count is incredible. I'm not Aaron Bleepin' Boone, no. JT Judge says the Mets were an 89-win team masquerading as a 100-win team. They could pitch. explain how they won that World Series, though. RJL, I'm sure you've done 69, right? Duncan, by the way, is 1 for 2. He has walked, singled, and driven in a run. 6-0 Dodgers. Ground ball past Garvey into right field. Gwynn quickly holds him to a single. Only the 6th hit for the Dodgers. Here's Landreau. Kenny 1 for 3. A single and RBI. I'd imagine the Orioles won that series. RJL. Did they play the Mets in the series? Got away from Kennedy. Nope. They were waiting for the steal, and with the 5-run rule, I'm not doing that. Up the middle, Roberts. Only play is to first, and Landreau's retired because there's 2 out. We go to the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers 6, Padres still playing 1985. So 18 up, 18 down. Roberts, Gwynn, and McReynolds. Fernando, 6 innings, 18 batters, 70 pitches, 5 strikeouts. Mets didn't even get past your LDS. Wow. Yep. I think their best team was 69. They went to the series. They won it in 70. They kind of remind me of the late 80s A's. And the Pirates just nickel and dime them in 71. Pitch to Roberts. Struck him out. That's 6 for Fernando. Here's Tony Gwynn, who's 0 for 2. Demos did 69 an inside pitch just September, and the Giants won the NLCS over the Cubs. That almost seems more plausible. Center field, Landreau. 2 out. For McReynolds, who is 0 for 2. Fernando working quickly, popped up, right side, Steve Sachs. 21 for 21. I'm nervous. Stretch time, 6-0 Dodgers. Clemente really found the fountain of youth in the 71 series, for sure. Absolutely for sure. 4 20-game winners for Baltimore that year. Madlock 1 for 2. He homered in the first and is driven in 2. Walter starts his 2nd inning, and Madlock draws the walk. For Greg Brock, who's 0 for 3. Brock, I think once he went to Milwaukee, calmed down a bit and was a better ball player. Kennedy and Walter have a word. Gene deals. There's a ground ball to first. Garvey, Templeton for 1. Back to Garvey for 2. Jamie recently had Vern Rule with the 85 Indians go 7 perfect. He took a no-no into the 9th and lost it with 2 outs on a homer from Brett. Demos predicts that John Kruk will come in to pinch hit and break up the no-no. Yep, Clemente, the best Puerto Rican ever to play the ball game. Cabell 0 for 2 with an RBI. Rips 1 to short. Templeton over to Garvey. 2 out. So Walter doing his job. Walter does his job. 3 up, 3 down. The story, however, is on the mound. Garvey, wouldn't that be something? Martinez and Templeton to face Fernando here in the 8th. 7 innings, 6 strikeouts. Andrew had a beta no-hitter testing. Wow. Nolan or Ryan of Minnesota. That's cool. Did they check for pine tar? Only if you drink it. Right field. Cabell going back. 1 out. For Carmelo Martinez, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. John kicking back. And there goes the perfecto. Martinez draws the walk. The first base runner for San Diego comes with 1 out in the 8th inning. Milt Pappas is steaming. A 3-1 screwball missed inside. So here's Templeton. He's 0 for 2. Everything else still in play. Drops one down on a bunt, foul. 1-2 the count. Fernando deals. Ground ball to Duncan. Sacks for 1. Templeton will reach on the fielder's choice. 2 out. So Terry Kennedy is 0 for 2. I thought it looked like a strike, but what do I know? Got him! 7 for Fernando. He goes to the 9th with a chance for history. After 7.5, no runs, no hits, the perfection is gone. But Fernando's dealing. 6-0 Dodgers. So Stubbs, Socha, and Sachs to face Walter here in the 8th. I've never streamed a no-hitter. I've only had 2 in my sim life. Catfish Hunter with the 78 Yankees of all teams against the 78 Phillies in a double elimination tournament. Take the top 8 teams, play them off against each other, College World Series style. And Jim Bouton for the 64 Yankees. I don't even like the Yankees. Stubbs is 0 for 2. Ground ball to Waller. Over to Garvey. Bang, banger, 1 out. For Socha, 1 for 3, a single. Fred Sanford took a no-hitter into the 9th in a World Series clincher when we did 49 for the Yankees. And I'm trying to think, it was an old pitcher that was pitching for the Diamondbacks when we did 2001. That took one in the 9th. So this is the 3rd time we've taken it that far. Socha draws a walk. At what? Mark Morgan? I like the Yankees the way that Gardner likes the Habs. Steve Sachs 1 for 3, a single and a stolen base. You want to know how warped social media is? Honest to God, I'm telling the truth here. The New York Yankees Facebook page has made me a top fan. I don't follow them. I don't like them. I have no idea why, but I am. Ground ball to over Royster in the left field. Martinez will pick it up. Socha, you're up 6. Don't do anything stupid. For Fernando, who's going to swing away. Jamie had a perfect game in Diamond Mine baseball. Kevin Brown did it with the 97 Marlins. Was Eric Gregg behind the plate? Fernando will swing, chops it foul, and the count is 2-2. Ground ball to Garvey. Over to Templeton for 1, and Fernando will reach on the fielder's choice. Lamar Hoyt! They give Fernando the jacket and stand as 1. The Padres throw the white flag. Lamar Hoyt, 8-11, a 5.15 ERA, 35 games, 25 starts, 159 innings, 170 hits, 100 runs, 91 earned, 27 homers allowed. He walked 68 and struck out 85. Fastball pitcher at 87 and a fly ball plus pitcher. So Socha on 3rd. Fernando just pulls up the Adirondack chair at first. Duncan 2 for 3, draws the walk. When Greg was a kid starting to watch baseball, his uncle told him to pick a team and stick with them, and everybody hates the Yankees. That's how I became a Red Sox fan. I'm not kidding. No pick. He couldn't fit in the screen. He was a pretty big boy, Dave. Here's Landreau, 1 for 4, a single and an RBI. Got away from Kennedy. Socha scores on the pass ball, and the Rams have a touchdown on the Chargers. I've never thrown a perfect game, Paul. Ken Hill of the Expos did it against the 68 Astros. What year Were you doing 94? That's pretty good. So a 3-1 count, 7-0 Dodgers, 2 out in the 8th. Hard ground ball to Roberts, and we are through 8. So Fernando goes to the mound, says a quick prayer. It's 1:25 p.m. on the 5th day of January, 2026 in the Queen City. It'll be Royster, a pinch hitter, and Roberts. Fernando has walked 1 and struck out 7. None of them being Jerry Royster. Ground ball, base hit. And that goes all the way to the wall as Stubbs misplayed it. Strangers in the night. And somewhere Dave Stieb shakes his head. So Royster's on second. I've been waiting to call one for this is my 8th year. We've never had one on stream. Gardner gets one just on giggles and grins. Yep. Anyway, a standing ovation for Fernando. Still can't figure out how Hoyt won the Cy Young when Dotson had a better season. Come on, that was the era when Mark Mosley won the NFL MVP, okay? It'll be... Now, if Kruk gets a hit here, who said that? Who said that earlier about Kruk doing this? Yeah, I think he just kind of was, what? That's a hit? Kruk looking lean and mean at 25, 309, 4 homers, and 38 RBI. It was Demos that said that. Former Dodger Jerry Royster. At least it wasn't Garvey. Sosha and Fernando have a word. Pitch to Kruk. Ground ball to Duncan, over to Brock, 1 out. So now 7 to tie, 8 to go ahead. Roberts 0 for 3. Fernando 8 1/3, a hit, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Needless to say, Fernando, unless there's an earthquake in the next 2 minutes, will be your digital advice MVP. We all looked lean at 25. We certainly, I didn't. I don't know, maybe you did. Pitch. Bruce Bochy will pinch hit. Bruce at 31 looks pretty spelt. 252, 8 homers, and 22 RBI. 309 was at his weight. Royster on second. Pitch to Bochy is a fly ball, right center. Landreau moving over. Will make the grab. Royster will hold. And there's 2 out for Tony Gwynn. Now, if someone should have broken it up, it should have been Tony, who's 0 for 3. I weigh less now than I did in high school. Pitch to Gwynn. Got away from Sosha on the pass ball, and Royster moves to third. No, we had that discussion in the last game. Fly ball, right field. Cabell will win this. Fernando Valenzuela throws a 1-hitter. And the Dodgers win it 7-0. Three fake hours, 7 runs, 7 hits, an error for the Dodgers. They left on 7. The Padres got a hit and an error, and they left on 2. And your digital advice MVP is, of course, going to be Fernando Valenzuela, who took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. 1 hit, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Shaw 4 2/3, 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. The home run to Madlock in the first. He walked 3 and struck out 2. Stoddard got the lone batter he faced. Gene Walter, 2 2/3, 2 hits, a run, and 2 walks. And Lamar Hoyt faced 2 batters there at the end. And so Jerry Royster now becomes the answer to a trivia question. Let's play the rest of this opening day. And it will be the Royals and the Yankees tomorrow at noon Eastern. Darnell Cole still leads the majors in hitting. Not a lot of other games. The Phillies beat the Reds 8-2. Kent DeColvey gets the win. Mario Soto takes the loss. Von Hayes 4 for 4, a home run and 3 RBI. Break up the Indians. They beat the Orioles 9-4. Kurt Schramm 1-0. Mike Flanagan takes a loss. He's 0-1. Brooke Jacoby 3 for 5 with 2 solo homers. Detroit had 5 homers and 16 hits in that 10-7 win over Boston. And Tom Seaver shut out Milwaukee at Comiskey Park. 9 innings, a 2-hitter, and he walked 2. He beat Teddy Higuera. That would have been a pretty good pitching matchup. Ozzie Guillen went 1 for 2 with a walk. And so that's it. My goodness. Yeah, I've never called a no-hitter. I wanted that one. A hell of an effort from Fernando. So, rest of the week, tomorrow it's New York and Kansas City, Bud Black and Ron Guidry. And then Wednesday from Busch, it'll be Rick Sutcliffe and John Tudor. And if you want to look at what we're doing next week, Monday will be the Mets and the Phillies, Ron Darling and Gross for the Friday game. The Wednesday game will be Toronto and Kansas City, Acker and Leonard. And then the third game of the week will be Kansas City and Boston, Saberhagen and Nipper. So there you go. I think we will have done all 4 playoff teams from last year within the first 2 weeks of that. And so, once again, our final scores, the Lions. The Tigers beat the Red Sox 10-7, and Fernando Valenzuela throws a 1-hitter and beats the Padres 7-0. So there you go. We will talk to you tomorrow for the Royals and the Yankees. Have yourself a wonderful day. Algebra 2, after lunch, your teacher rolled in a big Philly fan and rolled in the AV cart. That's awesome. All right, we'll talk to you. If she's feeling better, she's going to go, hopefully tomorrow she'll go back to work. Have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everybody.